Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my backyard. Today I'm going to be getting started sawing some of my workbench kits. So I'll be making some single slab quarter sawn bench tops out of this log here and hopefully that one there too. If you missed my video where I went through the the prototyping process for that, I will leave you a link to that video that kind of runs through the methodology, the ideas, and the sawing process which I'll be going through today. So I have several of these silver maple logs stored off-site. So I picked up these two last week with the new log trailer. Because they are like small enough-ish, I was able to just pick them both up at once and drop on the trailer fairly easily. Nothing too crazy there. Saves a little bit of time if you can fit two logs side by side through the arch, and these ones just barely fit. I got them back, got the first one offloaded, and I went ahead and just dropped the second one onto the end of the mill. I can scoot it the rest of the way on later on with the skid steer. This way it's just kind of staged and ready to go for sawing today. So this first log is sort of the better of the two, I guess. It is the straightest and it's also the biggest in diameter, but it is a little bit on the small side. So just to give you a quick idea what we're going to be doing here, this is the end of a workbench top. So we'll be cutting 4 of them radially out of this log. So the diameter is a little bit on the small side. This is the finished width, and we want to go like an inch or two bigger than this to kind of start with for drying and finishing and everything. And we want to get away from the highly curvature areas here of the growth rings. So we want to be out here when we start, and it doesn't leave us a whole lot of room to trim away the live edge and the curvature of the log. So it's going to be, this one's going to be a little bit on the tight side. So I'll be sawing it fairly conservatively. Now there's not a whole lot of crazy things going on with this log. For the workbenches, you want a fairly straight grain log. This is the base of the tree, and you can see these flares here. This is the upper section, so this was actually where the tree started to branch out into a crotch. So we have part of the crotch still in here. So the crotch probably goes back to about here or so. This is a roughly 8-foot long log or so, which will still give us plenty of length for an actual workbench. The second log is a little bit on the narrower side in diameter, so it might not work out as well, but I do need to cut base material as well, so we could use that for base stock. I will see once we get it up there. So I got that first log roughly leveled. I have it blocked up on one end to make this first cut, and again I'm going to be sawing fairly conservatively since I don't have a whole lot of extra diameter to really play with. Probably not going to talk a whole lot in this video because I am basically doing exactly the same thing as I did in the other video. I'm just bringing you along for the sawing adventure, so unless something crazy happens, I don't think you're going to hear a whole lot from me. We're just going to be doing some nice sawing on this beautiful, beautiful September afternoon. And I'm going to see how quickly I can get through these logs. A lot of the sawing, there's not a whole lot of time actually running the saw. A lot of it is moving stuff around, so as we'll see if you haven't seen the other video, it's mostly just moving things on and off the saw, get them set up, and then finally making that cut. So the saw is only running for like a few minutes for the entire sawing process of this log. But for example, on the last one I did in that other video, it took me about 3 hours to process one log. So we'll see how long it takes me today now that I'm not really stopping to talk or show much, I guess. Okay, so I got 2 bench tops so far. This one's pretty good. I think that one's probably gonna end up being a B grade. It's this side is pretty good, but the other side's got some pretty big defects, and it's kind of narrow. So we'll see about that. Like I said, these logs are kind of small. The 2 first cuts are probably gonna get cut into base material. I might be able to sneak a bench top out of the bottom one that's 12 inches. This one here is 11, and it's got a lot of bark on there, so it's probably not gonna be enough for a bench top. So what I'll do is end up cutting the standard quarter sawn slice out of there and then resawing it into the leg stock. But I'm gonna worry about that later. Let me get this next one up here and see where things lead me with it, and then kind of go from there. That way, if I'm cutting base stock, I can just do that all at once, and it's gonna keep my mind in one zone. I also want to get this other log out of here. That way I can go pick up some more and get a better idea of kind of where I might end up as far as how much material I'm going to be able to get out of the logs that I have set aside for this thing. So we got the 4 bench tops so far. This one I left a little bit wide. You can see the pith is right here because this log had a curve in it. The pith has a curve, so it kind of goes like this in an arc. So some people wanted some wider material. So if someone wants a bench top that's shorter, so this is like 9 feet long right now. If someone's looking to, trim down to a 6-foot bench, but they want 14-inch slabs, they'll be like that, I guess. Otherwise, for more length, you just trim off more of this and you lose some width. So a little conservative on this one. You can see this one's also going to have to be a shorter bench probably, but that's fine. I got those over there, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with those yet. And I wasn't really sure I was going to do this video, but I think for the next thing we'll do is we'll go pick up a couple more logs and see kind of where that takes us, and then we can deal with all these half things. So far, this is like an afternoon. I've been out here for about 3 hours or so. I'm probably making about the same time as before because I haven't touched those yet. Those take the longest because they're the most difficult to kind of stand up and get situated to cut those middle slabs out of. So I'll leave those for later. I will see you for some hauling, I guess. All right, it's a nice windy day. Well, it's always windy out here, I feel like. We got 3 more logs here. I'm gonna try and grab probably the next 2 here in line, and we'll see where things go. I can already tell the second one is probably gonna be, well, I know it's gonna be too small. This guy here, it's not quite wide enough, so that'll become base material for sure. That one's big enough, but it's kind of goofy, so it probably only has 2 or 3, maybe. I'll probably get 3 bench tops out of that guy. This one's got this rotted hole thing going on here, so it might be a 3-fer as well. I'm going to drag this one out a little bit so I have a little more room to work around it. I can't get a chain far enough back yet, and I want to make sure I can get the approach angle just right, so a little bit of extra space there will help me adjust things before actually going on to the trailer. Move over. That works surprisingly well. I believe this is the old adage of having eyes bigger than your stomach. This is going to be a really tight fit. I didn't realize this end over here is so big and goofy. So it's jacked up a little bit so I can swing the arch past a little limb there. Okay, reinforcements are coming. So I think real quick I'm going to start processing these halves and get these kind of out of the way, because as you can probably tell, I am running out of room back here to kind of stage things. So this one here is a little narrow. It's about 10 inches. So this will either be sawn into base material or it could be used for a narrower bench top if someone's into that. That's what's going to happen with this guy, and then this one for sure, because it has, you know, a bunch of wane up here still too. So these first 2 will probably end up being resawn for base material. I should be able to get 2 narrower-ish bench tops out of the bottom 2. So I'm gonna see how quickly I can get through these 4 halves. That's 2 cuts per half, 8 cuts total. We'll see how long that takes. Oh man, you gotta love surprise thunderstorms. You check the weather in the morning, this is not even gonna rain today. Storm rolls in unexpectedly, and then you check the weather and it says, it's not even raining where you're at. So I think we're gonna just wrap up things real quick here. I'm gonna take care of cutting this last half, get the bench top out of it, and it looks like I should be able to get some more base material out of the quarters, which are still left. So I'll probably pull what I can out of the quarters, and then we'll call this one good. We'll call this like part one of the first batch, and then we'll get into the next bunch of sawing in the next video, because I still got a lot of these logs to cut. So let's get cutting. So I think it's going to be a good stopping point. This is the, I guess the first round of the first batch of stuff. So we've got several bench tops. I got a few pieces here which can be resawn later for the base material. So things are progressing, which is nice. In the next, I guess, part of this batch, I have the 2 logs on the trailer to saw. I have the other one back at the parking lot thing I gotta go pick up. That's another one, and then I have another one from a log yard that I bought. So still plenty of more stuff to cut, and I'll probably have to cut some more besides that too. So things are progressing. It's definitely a this is a lot. It's a lot of work. There's logistically a lot going on here to turn a big log into a quarter sawn workbench kit. So hopefully you enjoy this little sawing adventure and sourcing and all that stuff too. So thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the workbench kits, the sawmill, anything back in the shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.